Hi there guys, it is right now May 10th, 6 p.m. and I'm gonna try to make this quick because the wind is picking up. Now that it's 6 p.m. I forgot. As soon as it hits 6 p.m. we get like wind where I am. But regardless, this is gonna be another unedited sort of vloggy weekly update for you guys. Woo! Almost dropped my iPad. By the way, did I ever mention I always take my notes in Google Docs, and then I have my iPad for my notes. I have it for every video. I have my notes in case I forget what I'm doing. Regardless, okay, let's talk about what I've been reading or what I'm excited about, etc. So I've been working on Airs Above Ground by Mary Stewart, and I'm not even that far into it, 65 pages, but reading a little bit every day. And this is for Emma's Bookish Kingdom book club, and it is so fun, guys. Like, it's classified as a thriller, and it's just really cute and not like an intense thriller at all. I've never read anything by Mary Stewart, but I feel like with Kate and with Emma, I always hear about interesting, like, cozy kind of reads that I never would have heard of otherwise. So I feel like they both read like more than I do, like more in volume. So sometimes when they mention some author that I've never heard of, and I'm like, it's probably not obscure. I was gonna say obscure, but I'm sure it's not obscure. I probably just haven't heard of her. But anytime they mention an author I've never heard of, I have to go look it up because a lot of times they're really good. So anyways, this is great. Airs Above Ground is referring to, I don't know the terminology of what kind of horse. Is it a stallion? I don't know. Anyways, it's like a breed of horse that is being talked about in depth in here, and it's going to come into the mystery. The Lepizan stud, and I guess it's from like the Middle Ages. It was, okay, when the Austrian stud was founded at Lepisa. So I guess well, regardless, anyway, it dates back to the Romans. The Roman cavalry in Spain used them. So it's like it's a very old breed. And I was looking at pictures of them, and yeah, they have like a very distinctive look. Like the legs are kind of shorter and their body is like really stocky. I think they have to be really strong and powerful in order to do that pose, that's always in statues where the horse is like reared up, but it's like controlled. It's not like they're rearing out of panic. Regardless, we're following a woman who has gotten separated from her husband because he had to go on kind of a trip when they were mad at each other, and so she's trying to like reconnect with him. She saw him on a film reel near a fire, and she hasn't heard from him in like a week or something, and so she decides she's gonna go to Austria. She lives in England, and she's gonna go to Austria and track him down, and ends up with a young man who is somebody that a friend, he's the son of a friend sort of hers, and the friend asks her to like bring him to Austria with her. And so their relationship is really fun because he's like much younger, and obviously she's married, so it's just like a friendship, it feels very comfortable, and really enjoying this. So can't wait to keep going with that. I did finish Witch Hat Atelier Volume 5 last night, and just beautiful as always. Like, the art is just incredible. I love the witch hats that they wear. They all have, there was like a page on the back here talking about what all the witch hat things, additions to them mean, and each atelier has its own version of the hat and its own master, and they all have different teaching styles, and it's just fascinating. So really loving this series. This is the back. Sorry, I've been like holding up the back for you guys this whole time. Yeah, really gorgeous. And also, I just heard from Naomi this weekend that Bleak House is on for the summer. So we're going to be reading Bleak House. We're thinking it's going to be a 10-week readathon. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to start this in June because it's supposed to be July through like halfway through September. But if I know me, I need to get started early. But I also need to finish Moby Dick. And I have barely been reading. Honestly, I had a really bad focus day because I was working late, so late last night on K-Tropathon details, and there's a lot to figure out still. K-Tropathon is going to be in August, so I'm trying to nail down details, and it's difficult with all the time differences and stuff like that. So I was working on that really late, whereas all day I was like trying to figure out the BA stuff, and I haven't gotten any work done. So I've just been really like stressed out this week because I'm trying to sign up for my BA classes. That was loud. I did get into BA. So BA is Bangtan Academy, which is a Korean learning server for fans of BTS, basically, or friends of ARMY. That's the fandom name. And it is incredible. They have so many classes available, like for all different kinds of learning styles, and it actually taught me my learning style, which was really cool. That gets thrown around a lot, and I just never really knew what my learning style was, so I just kind of did what worked well for me. But they actually gave it a name. So the solitary learner was one of them, which means basically I need to be in a quiet room, nobody bother me, in order to focus. And I learn best, and I'm a traditional learner, so I just learn best if you give me a book to study, which is actually something I found to be true. Like I remember I used to really struggle in math, but I took a vacation once, and so for 2 weeks I was just studying math out of the textbook. And when I came back, my teacher was like, you could have been in honors math. I was like, what? So apparently they just needed to leave me alone with the book, and I did not need classroom learning. Never did anything for me because I had just had really high social anxiety. So learning alone with my book was the best way for me to learn. But I needed to learn social dynamics too, so I'm glad that I went to school. But because it's hard to replicate that, without actually going to school. It's hard to learn social dynamics, and I was already pretty sheltered. So anyways, that was really cool though. I love that BA helps you to learn these things about yourself so that you can really study and learn. And yeah, I'm excited for my classes. I haven't picked them out quite yet, but there's a couple different options. There's like a podcast listening class, which is really cool because they will offer you the free transcripts, and the transcripts you normally have to pay for if you're not in BA, but BA is free, so I get the transcripts for free through BA, which is really nice. And then there's also a series of books by Talk to Me in Korean, and they have free courses as well through BA, so I could do that. But I have some books that I really wanted to read. I wanted to focus on reading, and those courses are not available at the moment. So I'm like, what do I want to work on? But anyways, so I'm just figuring that out. There's so much reading to do when you enter BA. It's like a huge process. But that's okay. This week is just super busy, and so I'm just not getting much work done. It is what it is. Everybody has weeks like that if you're your own boss. Sorry about all the noise. My onboard microphone is amazing. By the way, I am vlogging my first week into Bangtan Academy, where I'm talking about my learning styles, my Korean level, and like entering BA and what that's been like. So if you're interested, that's on my Korean channel, so I'll probably just share that for you guys when I post it so you can see it if you're interested. Okay, and then so other things. By the way, if you're interested in joining Emma's book club and discussing Heirs Above Ground with us, that would be amazing. Like, you should definitely email her. Yeah, definitely. I think I can put her email in my description. So we're losing the sun here. But anyways, yeah, definitely email her if you're interested, because it's a really wonderful book club. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is a collab that Kate Howe has invited me and Emma and Anne from Princess Lessons to do, which is we're going to be discussing our summer TBRs. So excited for that live stream. It's going to be May 22nd, I believe, unless it gets rescheduled. It's been rescheduled a couple times, but I think we're going with May 22nd. So excited for that. Definitely join us over on Kate's channel for that. And what else? I'm working on the questions for Kestral for a hawk, or Kestral for a knave. So much noise, sorry. I have sprints with Jenny tomorrow, which she just reminded me of. I had totally forgotten because I was like head under the sand in working on BA stuff, trying to get done with that. Also, I wanted to ask, and I published a video this week, plus sprints tomorrow, plus I'll be doing this video at the end of the week. So I'm doing so well this week on my fun channel. Regardless, it wasn't a good focus day, so that's why I just edited, because I can usually edit even if it's not a good focus day. So I didn't get any reading done today because I just couldn't. That's what happens when I'm under stress. I can't focus. But anyways, I wanted to ask you guys, I don't know if any of you guys read young adult literature, but I am helping one of my coworkers with the teen program at our library, and I really need to read some young adult so that we can recommend it to the teens. But it seems like so much young adult is not really great for teenagers, or at least the tweens that we often end up with. We often end up with like tweens, and I don't want to offer them books that are like full of F words and stuff like that. You know, a lot of times they're like homeschooled little sweet kids, and I'm just like, I am not comfortable shepherding you to the young adult section. So if you guys have good recommendations for kids who are aging into the teen program and are just sort of transitioning into that, please send them my way. Would love some advice on that. Because I just do not read young adult anymore. I did for a long time. I read it for many years, and it just doesn't appeal to me much anymore. I'm sure there are good ones out there though, and if they come from you guys, I will know that they are good recommendations that I should try. Okay, and I've also been listening to the Debrief podcast with Matt Brown, which is a Sandals Church podcast. I'm sure I mentioned it recently, but it's so good, guys. He often talks about kind of like cultural things or Bible questions. It's like a Q&A. It's like very informal, and I just realized you can see our weeds. We have so many weeds. It's like so small, my camera thing, that I can barely see. But anyways, yes, welcome to our jungle. Anyways, yeah, the Debrief podcast. He talks about like interesting things like creationism and evolution, and women pastors, and like DNA. Just crazy stuff that is like really relevant and interesting. So I thought I'd recommend that because I just think it's like very informal, and you can really see like his heart and his mind on display. It's not as heavily produced as like, you know, Sandals Church lecture videos, so sermon videos. So anyways, and I started John 1 verse 4. Exciting. I think I'm going to go with the modern Greek pronunciation. I know that I know that you can memorize, I know that you can use like the Erasmian Greek pronunciation. I think it's what it's called. The Koine Greek pronunciation. I know that there's a couple schools of that out there, but I think I'm going to go with the modern one, mainly because a lot of the resources that I'm finding that are free, like of the whole Bible being read in Greek, are in the modern Greek pronunciation. So I think I'm going to go with that one for my learning of Greek. And I'll study Koine Greek grammar, but I have the actual New Testament Greek being read in a modern accent. So, and I think that's fine. I know that people do that, and that's fine. I'm not a scholar, so it doesn't really matter how I pronounce it, and I'm not going to be speaking it anyways. It'll just help me remember it if I know how to think it in my mind. Okay, what next? And I did start Game of Thrones book 2. The prologue is so hard-hitting, guys, but I loved it. I'm so obsessed. All I want to do is listen to Game of Thrones all the time. But I'm taking it slowly, and I'm savoring it, and that's working out well, because I'm still trying to listen to Korean and do book 2 and stuff like that. So anyways, and I watched this really interesting video, another Asian boss video that I wanted to tell you guys about. Would Korean girls marry foreign guys? And it talked about some of the things, just like almost tangentially, that Louise Perry's book talked about, which is basically that like the sexual marketplace, the dating marketplace of today in America, and probably not just America, probably like Western countries in general. Korean girls were like, yeah, I'm not a fan. Like, for example, the guys not wanting to commit or like put titles on their relationships, the guys sleeping over at girls' houses. The Korean girls were like, that is not cool. Like, definitely preferring, you know, Korean guys on this, because Korean guys don't do that crap. So I thought that was really interesting, and I remember getting the impression from several sources that Korean guys will sleep with foreign girls, but generally we're relegated to the just for fun category, because Korean girls don't act like that, and so they end up marrying Korean girls. I was like, wow, that is very telling. Anyways, thought that was fascinating. Thought I would share it with you guys. I'm glad that Korean girls are smart and Korean guys are more careful than American guys are. Because I have friends who talk about how the dating marketplace in America is not really working out very well for them. It's like not appealing. American guys are not very appealing. So that's really unfortunate. I hope we can kind of swing the pendulum back the other way a bit, and it can become a more friendly place for like dating with a purpose, dating to marry, dating seriously, actually dating and not just talking. Kev tells me that that's what the kids say these days. They might be doing all kinds of stuff together, but they're just talking unless they actually have committed themselves into a relationship. Anyways, that's a rant. So I'm done, and I'll talk to you guys soon, probably at the end of the week, about what I've actually finished. Okay, bye. Hello guys. It is now May 11th, and I'm doing some reading sprints on my channel with Jenny, and lots of other people came along and we're having a really good time. So I've been reading Paul by N.T. Wright. I've actually been listening to this all day, and it's just, my head has been like really in the mood for it since I was listening to it, even though I'm not really having a good focus day. But I'm really enjoying it again. So I guess I needed a break. And there's some amazing quotes in here actually that I should totally share with you since I have you on here. And maybe I will show you guys, show the camera to the sprinters so that they can say hi as well. And some of you who are watching this might actually be here tonight. So anyways, so some of the quotes that I've been loving in this chapter is just chapter 5 called Cyprus and Galatia. So it talks about how the early Christians didn't really focus much on what happened to people immediately after they died. Their answer would probably be to that question, whatever, what Jesus said to the man on the cross, which is that they would be with him in paradise. But they didn't really talk about it very much because they were more concerned with the kingdom of God on earth, as in, which would ultimately completely happen on earth as it is in heaven. So I thought that was really interesting, and talking about how, it keeps talking about how Paul, that's my alarm. Okay, hang on. Hello, vlog viewers. We're on some reading sprints. We're having a really good time. We're about to sign off for the night. And, yeah, I think it's been a pretty productive evening.
It has.
Jenny, did you decide to DNF your book?
I'm at 70%. I'm gonna finish it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay. So a decision has been reached. That's good. Well, thank you so much everybody for coming, and thank you for watching this vlog if you're watching this vlog later. Boy, I'm just like filming off around here on accident. Very skilled. Alright, bye vlog.
Flew down my street, but they were pretty leopard.
Wow. Back to what you were saying, Kate, about...
Hello there, guys. Okay, it is now May 14th, and it is so summery today. It's in the 80s, so I'm just in my tank top. Just came back from a walk, and I'm gonna zoom you out just a little bit. So anyways, I thought I would update you with our final update before I post this little vloggy thingy. And so what have I been reading? I had another quote that I wanted to share with you from the Paul biography, because I got cut off when my alarm went off during reading sprints. So let's go to that now, because I think that's what I'm going to be reading this coming week. In addition to Airs Above Ground, I'm going to continue working on Paul. I think I just needed a break from Paul because there was really nice, like, good quotes in it, and like there's a lot of good thought in it, but it's just kind of repetitive. So I was having a hard time focusing on like solely that for a while. But now that I'm back, like, I'm actually listening to it because Tiffany has been doing a 24 and 72, I think it was. So she was trying to read 24 hours, like setting the timer. And so I've been reading along with that. It's like part of her Patreon. So on my timer here, I have almost 4 hours. And then there was other hours that I messed up on and left my timer running and stuff. So I kept track of those on here. So I'm at 6 hours already. So that really helped. I probably made like 15% of the way through Paul during this readathon. So it's been helping me, and really enjoying it on audiobook. And so one of the quotes that I wanted to share was, sorry, I had it up and then okay. So one of the things that it was talking about in chapter 5, Cyprus and Galatia. So each chapter goes over, so far, has been going over a different portion of Paul's journey. And I don't know if that'll change like later in the book or not. But so it's following him throughout the ancient world as much as we know where he goes. And so the portion about Cyprus and Galatia talks about how we're starting to get a picture of his geography and his choices and how he was probably making a point by choosing to go to the places where he chose. So the point he's trying to make is clear, so says the author, because possibly because a lot of the places that he's visiting are key places in centers of Roman rule and of Roman cult in the East Mediterranean. So it seems like he's trying to hit all those spots and make a point that there is only one God and Caesar is not him and stuff like that. So I thought that was really interesting that he was making a political point, because that would make sense. That's probably partly why Christians were considered so dangerous at the time, was because he compares it to like the use of technology. Oh, this is not working for my back. Man, maybe I'll just like take my shoes off. So basically, in order to get rid of all the gods that people believed in back then, that would be like us getting rid of our technology. That was the point that he made, that I thought was a really good point, because it's hard to imagine a world where we just have so many gods that it's part of our lives, but that's how it was then. They had gods for everything. So anyways, fascinating, very interesting. So okay, what's next? We have Lord of the Rings. Okay, I finished Fellowship of the Rings. So good, guys. Wow, and it left off on such a cliffhanger. So in the movie version, it ends with like the fate of Boromir, and in the book, we don't know the fate of Boromir yet at the end of book 1. What we do know is that everybody is looking for Frodo after they leave Lothlorien, and they see the Gollum is following them, and then they see like tons of Uruk-hai as they're on the river. They're in one of the boats, the elven boats from Lothlorien, and they're seeing lots of elves lots of Uruk-hai on either side of the river. And so they're trying to figure out where to go. And when Frodo is off trying to make a decision about where to go next, Boromir attacks him. And so in the book, all we know is that Sam finds Frodo, which is probably the biggest main point, but I know what's coming because I've seen the movies, and I forgot that the books split it up like that. I did remember that the books split up the story differently than the movies did, but I didn't remember all the details. And Moria was so intense too. Like, Wow, the creature at the gate. I couldn't remember if the creature in the gate was also in the book or if it was only in the movies. Like, so good. I'm just like, I want to instantly start reading book 2, but I am still reading Canticle for Leibowitz. Sometimes I wonder why I'm still reading this. It's taking me so long. It shouldn't have been that long, but it's because it's a pretty short book, but for whatever reason it's just taking me a while. And that's okay. I'm going to try and finish it. Just because I really liked the first 40%, and it's been like the last 10% that have been rougher for me, introducing tons of new characters that I just don't care about. So, what else is happening? I'm also, and there's a great quote from Lord of the Rings, which was, "Books ought to have good endings, but how would this do? And they all settled down and lived happily ever after." So I think that's Frodo talking to Bilbo. Bilbo talking to Frodo about the ending of his book. So I thought that was sweet. I know that J.R.R. Tolkien was a big promoter of enjoying your reading. Hey guys, sorry for the interruption. I had to just change where I was sitting. It really wasn't working for me. So now we are in the office, which is fine. So comfortable. I like the lighting in my bedroom though, you know. What? Is there something on my glasses? It kind of looks like it. Anyways, I think I was talking about the classes that I'm signing up for in Bangtan Academy. So I signed up for a review class of Talk to Me in Korean Level 1. So this is a series of grammar books that I have been working through for I guess probably a year and a half or 2 years now. And I'm only on the third one. But I signed up for these classes because I think they'll help me go a little bit faster. And so it'll be review, which is fine. I have to prove to them that I know the material, and I do that through taking extensive notes of each chapter and showing them the exercises. So that's fine. It's going to take me a while though. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. Eventually I will be done with the review, hopefully just in a couple months, and then I can move into new stuff again. So, okay, moving on. Oh, and I'm planning on signing up for a listening class for a podcast as well, and maybe a journaling class at different times, not at the same time, because I think 2 classes might be too much. But we'll see how it goes. So let's see, what else am I? Oh, so, and I've been working also really hard on 4 readathons. I am in the process of creating 4 readathons for the rest of the year. So that's fun. So you know about K-Tropathon a little bit. That I feel like I mentioned that it would be in August, and that was incorrect. It's in July. I don't know why I keep thinking it's in August, but it's in July. It'll be happening in July. So announcements will be coming out the 1st of next month, hopefully. So that's really exciting. I cannot wait. I have so many fun things planned for that one. I'm putting a lot of energy into K-Tropathon. It's going to be the biggest thing I've done for a while. So that's really exciting. And I don't want to get into too much detail about the other readathons yet because they're still in progress. One of them though is going to be it's going to be like Faustathon but different. I'll be at least including one of the same co-hosts. Naomi today told me that she is interested in joining me for the new Faustathon that isn't Faustathon. So I'll explain the concept as we get a little bit farther in development. So you're getting BTS information here. You're getting behind the scenes information. And then for the next readathon will be Project Gutenberg readathon, of course, which I'm so excited about. All of the co-hosts are returning this year. Yay. I'm so glad about that. And then we'll also be doing another Advent read-along of a Dorothy L. Sayers play, I believe. I believe we're going to do one of her sacred plays because they're so cheap. It's 99 cents for her collection of 4 sacred plays on Kindle, and I love 3 out of 4 of them. So I really want to read the Christmas one for Advent because Christmas and Advent go together. So we'll see what happens there, but that will be with Emma, the Bookish Princess, and hopefully a couple other people. I haven't asked them yet, but I'm about to ask them. So even though that's way off in December, that's the very end of the year, I wanted to get started on those because I just never know how busy I'm going to be with potential vacations and other things happening like BA and stuff like that. So, and then I also decided, so for the book club, I wanted to let you guys know what's going on with the book club. So in June and July, we'll be reading Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan with Krista from Books and Jams Patreon, which I'm so excited about. I tried reading Pilgrim's Progress when I was a teenager, and like I enjoyed it, but it just wasn't. This is my edition. It includes some other stuff, but so nice. It's so nice. I feel like it was more work than I was willing to put into it, which might mean I switched to audiobook. We'll see. I might be switching to audiobook with this one, but I'm excited to try this one again. And I also really want to read Pilgrim's Regress. If I have the stamina for it, I will also read Pilgrim's Regress by C.S. Lewis. I've just been running across people lately who don't like C.S. Lewis, and I'm just like, but he's the best. Why don't you like him? But everybody can have their opinions, obviously. I just think he's amazing. But anyways, and then in August, I will be doing Travels with Charlie by John Steinbeck with Kate from the Literary Apothecary. Yay. And Kate will be joining us for Project Gutenberg readathon as well, reading Project Gutenberg. So yay. And then in September, I'll be reading Fathers and Sons by Ivan Turgenev with Tiffany from Beautiful Minutiae. This is all for the book club, by the way. And then in October, I've decided I really have been wanting to read. I have it around here somewhere. Aha, here it is. I'll show you so it'll make more of an impact. Da, 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 da. We have One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich by Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn, and I've been wanting to read this for so long. So, and I might try to pair it with the second volume of Glug Archipelago, or maybe like try to finish actually physically reading the first volume because I listened to quite a bit of it. We'll see. We'll see how much stamina I have in the end of the year. I haven't had much lately. I've been finishing lots of things, but a lot of them are like shorter or more engaging type works. So I just really don't want to like bog myself down too much with classics. So anyways, so I'm slowly putting the pieces together of all this stuff, and November will be Nathan Coulter by Wendell. So yay. Slowly putting all this together, and we had a great discussion of Kess, the book, Kestral for a Knave by Hines. Thank you so much to everybody who came. I love my book club. Like, the people who come are just so cool. And they put up with, we had over an hour and a half of discussion on the book, and it was like very spirited on Zoom. So if you want a good spirited group to discuss things with fire and verve, is verve the right word? I don't think so. If you want that though, come to my book club. It's amazing. And one of my subscribers, Tony, mentioned that it's actually a parable. I feel like my camera's gonna die. If that happens, I'll switch the battery and keep going. He said it's a parable about the British education system, which is fascinating. That made so much sense, actually, because yeah, it just made sense because there's this certain scene in the book that's really vivid. It's this scene where a teenage boy who's always known as a troublemaker, one of his teachers tries to get him to tell a story from his life because somebody sort of told the teacher that he was really interested in falconry. And so the boy tells the story for the first time and he gets really emotional. It's like a really big moment in the book. And so that was a really important scene for the parable of the British education system, which basically was something that the author believed in because he was a teacher. And he believed that if you use things that people care about to teach, or if you teach them things that they care about, they can be really good at that because that's something he saw as a teacher. And the British education school system at the time didn't allow for that, really. Pretty much, if you didn't get certain test scores, you were relegated to certain other kinds of work, like mining and stuff like that. So really, really good. I really enjoyed that. I actually, most of the book club didn't enjoy it, which is maybe why it was so spirited, but I actually did enjoy it quite a bit, especially as I was going through my highlights. It was really, as I was like, rereading it, that I really enjoyed it. So Okay, and then, so for this next week, I'm planning on working some more on Airs Above Ground, which I am over 100 pages in. I read a bunch last night, and it is so good. I'm 118 pages in. I'm so glad Emma chose this for her Bookish Kingdom book club. Please email her if you're interested in joining. Really enjoying this. And I haven't made too much progress on Nothing to Envy this week, unfortunately. But I am buddy reading this with Michi from Michi Reviews. Still really enjoying it. And so I'll be working on both of those and hopefully get back to Moby Dick. It's been weeks since I picked this up. And I was reading a little bit of the Pioneers by David McCullough, but I'm still having trouble finding space for it, I guess, right now. It was gonna just be an audiobook read, and then it didn't really work for that. So anyways, yeah, that's about it. So I will talk to you guys next week. Oh, and I'm going to be working as well on Paul by N.T. Wright. Paul, a biography. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, and thank you so much, Kate, for co-hosting our book club this month. It was so fun. I loved it, and I loved having you there. And okay, I'll talk to you guys next week.